Every woman that I've known who at first went in for stripping has ended up in prostitution with drug problems, and I'd say 75% of those end up working on the streets.
When any other enterprise closes, no one claims its workers are likely to deteriorate into prostitution. Only strippers are in danger of entering prostitution. And in fact, many of them end up in prostitution without the strip clubs closing.
I started working lap dancing because I was a single mum and I needed the money. After a number of years, I then progressed on to escorting and further sex work. At the time, I hadn't felt any pressure to go beyond dancing, but I now feel that working in the strip clubs conditioned me for work in the full-blown sex industry. I know of other women who met men outside of the club. I couldn't say whether that was work or pleasure.
Every woman that I've known who at first went in for stripping has ended up in prostitution with drug problems, and I'd say 75% of those end up working on the streets. If the council wants to look at the bigger picture, look at the effect of having these strip clubs open all this time, it's totally ignorant to say we're just accommodating a need. Lap dancing is a foot in the door to prostitution.
The structure and culture of the strip industry is the same, basically, as a brothel. Strip clubs are just a legalised shop front for the sex industry. Pimps often hang around outside the clubs as they have women working in them and they're waiting for their money at the end of the shift. Pimps also go in to the clubs themselves to recruit more women.
I worked in the sex industry in Bristol for several years. We were explicitly encouraged to go into the lap dancing clubs to solicit business. We'd sit and drink, and it was like dangling a carrot. Then the girls would go back to the massage parlour, and the boss would sit there telling everyone, "Those are my girls from my parlour down the road." If a guy crosses a line, they're told to just try the parlour. And then there's a group of maybe 5 or 6 men on a stag do who've already been to the strip club, and they're all pissed. They're out of control. It gets nasty. I've been assaulted, I've been puked on, it's hideous. I was raped several times.
With men who came from strip clubs, there was a very aggressive pack mentality. They would make very degrading comments. They invariably asked for group sex. It seemed important for them to have sex in front of their friends. They would pick women out one after the other to try out, to swap, and to score us in terms of performance. The fact that men had come from lap dancing clubs meant they had already stopped seeing us as human. The overwhelming feeling that I got was that they really hated us.
Girls who were choosing to work on the street are the girls that were choosing to work in the strip clubs 5 years ago. The council has a responsibility to the taxpayer, not just the women in the strip clubs. They have a responsibility to the people that live in this city to encourage women not to fall into these traps, because ultimately this costs us all a fortune. And for those women in lap dancing and prostitution, it costs them their lives in one way or another.